What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Sho back with another video. And man, I'm be honest, I really want to do some more anime content on this channel. I've been doing like gaming videos and stuff, and I mean, to me personally, I don't care that it really hasn't taken off, but I really like making anime videos. They take a lot more time and take a little bit more research than doing your typical gaming video, but I really want to do, like, you know what I'm saying, this is the kind of content I want to switch up on. So with that being said, man, I've been making like anime videos here and there. I made like a video about Zash Bill and Rave Master, a lot of the older anime that seem forgotten, that people don't really talk about, you know, because they were old. They were on Toonami back in the day, and while I won't only cover Toonami anime, I will like to cover like a couple of Toonami anime from here and there. This will probably be my last like Toonami anime for a while, and it's only because it's much bigger than Toonami in general. I want to start talking about more anime. I've been reading Mashal, Muscles and Magic, I think it's called, on stream, on Twitch stream. I've been reading it, like live reading it or whatever, and I'm really enjoying that so far. You can catch like the rerun, the clips, edited clips on YouTube. But here's the thing, in this video I'm talking about Dragon Ball Z. I want to talk about a couple of things before I talk about the show. Everybody pretty much knows Dragon Ball Z, that's a fact. Dragon Ball Z is basically the gateway of all gateways when it comes to anime for a lot of people, including me. I want to talk about how I first got into anime. I want to talk about how Dragon Ball Z played a really big part of that. I want to talk about the games, I want to talk about the show, everything. So it's going to be kind of a longer video, but this is going to be just expressing my love for Dragon Ball Z and, you know, what it really done for me in terms of making me watch anime. Now, I don't want to make this video crazy long, so you'll see that it's pretty much edited, and hopefully it'll make it flow a lot better. Alright, first off, we ain't wasting no time, guys. I'm going to say Toonami was such an interesting block of television. This was back when I'm pretty sure a lot of people did not know what anime actually was. They didn't know that Pokemon was an anime, or Yu-Gi-Oh, or Dragon Ball Z. They just thought it was a very intense cartoon. And if you look at it, it kind of makes sense, because cartoons normally don't get that dark as some of these anime shows are getting. But we were watching a lot of like 4Kids entertainment, so there was a lot of censoring and stuff out. So it was a lot of censoring items and characters out. So we really thought it was just like a cartoon, and I can get that. But Toonami as a whole really boosted all of the sales of Dragon Ball Z games from back in the day. Because yeah, I watched like a couple episodes of Toonami. Like I watched a couple episodes of Dragon Ball Z when it was coming out, and it was like the really big thing. I remember moving, and when we moved, we actually had like the cable service where you can kind of get like certain shows will be up there, you can just go and watch. It was actually revolutionary for me. I remember sitting up in the living room one morning, like not morning, but like towards the end of night morning. I remember it was summertime. I remember sitting in the living room and just clicking play on this Dragon Ball Z, and it was the episode, it was a couple of episodes disjointed, but it was a couple of episodes from the Goku versus Frieza fight. Basically the fight where Goku and Frieza were fighting, and then Goku turned Super Saiyan, and like I said, it was disjointed. So they would have one episode, but then they would have episodes two episodes later. But if you know anything about Dragon Ball Z, they tend to actually kind of drag out the story a little bit. So for me as a young kid, I'm loving it. Like I don't know nothing about fillers. I don't know nothing about like them dragging it out. Honestly, I'm loving it. I'm tuned in. Every time they breathe and look at each other and think before a fight, I'm just tuned in. I remember watching it to an unhealthy amount. I remember I actually snuck and actually watched it when my mother was not paying attention, so I kind of snuck up there. It was like I only wanted to watch one episode. I knew about Dragon Ball Z as a whole, but I didn't really, you know, watch the show at all. I watched maybe a couple episodes, and with Toonami, some of the anime would kind of stay up until way late night, so I wasn't really able to do that. But I remember it. Like I specifically remember those couple episodes of Goku fighting Frieza, and I think one episode he was just Super Saiyan out of nowhere, and I always thought it was just like a regular thing. Then from there, I pretty much got into Dragon Ball Z games. This is around the time when, since I told you that we moved, once we moved, I ended up finding people in school who were like-minded. You know, they were people who were playing the same things that I was. When I was younger, man, they used to play like the Pokemon cards and the Yu-Gi-Oh cards and stuff. And I remember I had like the fake Yu-Gi-Oh cards from like our local neighborhood flea market or whatever. I had all the fake cards. Like that was actually a thing. They had fake Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So we're all young, like very young. I meet these guys in school, and they would go on to be like my lifelong friends and brothers. And you know, they introduced me to a lot of different stuff. I mean, at the time I wasn't really watching stuff like Naruto, because the way this all worked back then is that Dragon Ball Z was already out. Naruto was already out. You know, that was just stuff that was over there in Japan. They were coming new on Toonami for us, so we didn't know what it was, but you know, it was already a thing out in the world. So me being young, man, I really appreciated like all the different talks and stuff like, oh man, Goku's strong. Like, nah, I think Gohan might be stronger. You know, just getting into all them different conversations and stuff that really made up a lot of my childhood. I remember Naruto running in my front yard, you know, like doing fake little Naruto battles. Yeah, I was that kid. Well, we were that kid. And it made Dragon Ball Z play a big part of my life. And it's this reason that I bring this up, because they say that whatever you watch or whatever you do or whatever you see in your childhood would influence your life in the future. And normally if it was a regular cartoon, I probably would have gave it up. You know, I probably wouldn't have watched it no more. But it's just the simple fact that when I look back on something like Dragon Ball Z, even though you might see it now and think it's honestly trash, I can never think that anime is trash. And for me, it's always going to be a big spot. You know, it's like the big anime for me. Because the amount of attention that it drew to itself. Alright, so with that, my whole little childhood aspect out the way, let's get into some of the stats and research from Toonami. Now, Dragon Ball Z first premiered on Toonami in August 31st, 1998. I would have been around 3 or 2 around then. I can't honestly remember. And of course, they were kind of like reruns because they were already syndicated over in Japan. And apparently it helped out the ratings for Toonami a lot, which makes sense. Like I said, if you pretty much in any age range at the day, it's a good chance you know about Dragon Ball Z. If you don't know any other anime, it's a good chance you know about Attack on Titan and Dragon Ball Z, because those are so talked about right now that you definitely have heard of it at least. New episodes are typically shown on weekday afternoons around 5 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Fridays, which is actually a crazy time slot, because that lets you know they really had faith in Dragon Ball Z, because they didn't want to wait too late where you couldn't watch it, but they wanted to wait late enough where you can get home from school. Now, eventually, since they had so much success from doing the original Dragon Ball Z, well, I guess I can't call it the original, but Dragon Ball Z as a whole, they had a success of doing that series. They decided to put the original Dragon Ball and air it in August 2001, 3 years later. And a fun fact, when I was actually researching this, I found out that apparently Funimation actually skipped the whole first 16 episodes of the entire anime for Dragon Ball GT and put them in a flashback. And speaking of GT actually started airing on November 7, 2003. And this is actually why they're called the Lost Episodes. Now, I actually have a DVD of these Lost Episodes. These were basically episodes where Goku and Trunks and Pain went out into space, and they ended up encountering Baby and all of that. And basically, like, the first 17 episodes of the show were kind of like this. I don't really know how to feel about it. Me personally, I do like GT, but I do understand why there's a lot of problems with it. But basically, these first 17 episodes of GT are just kind of like this really space explorer-y, boring type thing. It's like when you watch like Freddy versus Jason or Jason Goes to Space. You know, those type of movies. A Leprechaun Goes to Space, if you ever been into those old scary movies. It's just kind of felt like that thing that they do where they get kind of bored with what they got, so they just take it to space. They eventually would air on Toonami as the Lost Episodes, but back then you really couldn't see them on Toonami. You had to get like a special DVD, and I had the special DVD that said Toonami: The Lost Episodes. I always thought it was interesting because when I watched GT, I felt like I watched GT the most, like originally the most out of any show. As far as like when I got older, I had already seen most of GT from being young and being a kid, you know what I'm saying? I had already seen GT. Dragon Ball Z, I kind of skipped over a lot. I kind of knew the general plot through video games, but GT was one I actually did watch. And found out there were actually 17 episodes that I didn't even get to see. Was interesting. Now, pretty much after that, Adult Swim started handling like any anime and stuff. The Toonami block was canceled and it aired on 2008 of September 20th, and it was pretty much like the last day. And I want to say, this is not research, I want to actually say that I think after that they actually replaced it with another block. Can't remember what the name was, but it featured like live action type stuff. And on May 16th 2012, Adult Swim's Twitter basically announced that Toonami would be returning, and it would be becoming a late night Saturday night anime block. They aired Dragon Ball Z Cooler's Revenge, and they also started airing Dragon Ball Z Kai in the fall of 2014. Now, I remember Toonami going away for quite a while, right? I mean, they initially like ended in 2008, but I could have sworn Toonami just came back. From the research, I'm a little confused about. I don't know. I actually can't remember when they came back, but they had came back a minute ago. But to be honest, I didn't really watch it when they came back, because during that time I was pretty much into like the internet anime. Like, I was really deep into anime at that time, so I didn't really pay attention when it came back. But I know that Dragon Ball Z Kai was also a really big hit, and it was interesting to see. I did actually go eventually watch Dragon Ball Z Kai over again, but as far as like the Toonami section of this video goes, we're pretty much done with that. Now I want to talk about like Dragon Ball Z when I watched it. Now, like I said, I've seen a couple episodes, like a lot of episodes from Toonami, and it's the reason why I created Toonami as being like one of the most influential programming blocks to any young child's mind. You know what I'm saying? They really put anime on, and I really appreciate Cartoon Network for doing it. And for doing that, they will always have their rankings among like stuff like Disney and Nickelodeon, for me at least. Now, it took me till I actually got to near adult status. Like, I would think I was like 17, 18, somewhere around there. I actually went back and rewatched the whole entire Dragon Ball Z. This is during the time where I kind of grew up a little bit. I like Dragon Ball Z. I like Naruto. I watched a lot of Naruto. Like, a lot of Naruto on Toonami. Like, pretty much, I would say the whole show. This is during the time I was really locked in. And I wasn't watching that much DBZ, even though DBZ is the thing that got me into anime. I would watch like a lot of different shows up there, like Eureka 7 and stuff. I was heavy into the Toonami game. And then eventually I got to, I guess I would call it like the internet phase of anime. This is basically where you don't just see what you watch on TV or what's in passing. You actually go and search out and try to find new anime. Like, you actually going to different anime sites, or as of now, you would probably go to like Crunchyroll or Funimation, just see what they got and see what looks interesting, and just watch other stuff that's different than shonen. Basically like your experimental phase. In this phase was the actual time I went back and fully watched Dragon Ball Z. Because simply, I knew the story. I actually got tired of playing the story, because after playing multiple games like Tenkaichi 3, all different Tenkaichis, all different Budokais, Infinite World, the Game Boy Advance games from the GT, I believe it's called Final Bout, Ultimate Battle 22. After playing all these different games, you get tired of playing the Dragon Ball Z story over and over again. But as an actual anime, I never fully watched it. So I decided to go and do the thing. You know, I decided to go and I said, hey, I would actually go back and watch everything Dragon Ball from the original on up. As like a little bit later in life, I think Super wasn't a thing yet. I think Kai was a thing. So I decided to go and watch the original Dragon Ball Z all the way through Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Z GT. And like a lot of episodes, I watched everything all the way through. And as I got older, I started to realize about the pacing issues and stuff. Once you see other anime, you see how anime is just paced better. Then you start to see how other anime do their filler different. Like Naruto had a lot of filler. When I was younger, I didn't know what that was. But after rewatching the series, I got what filler was. With Dragon Ball Z, their filler, honestly, the Dragon Ball Z filler to me, any Dragon Ball Z filler or episodes that weren't like just directly about like the main canon in Dragon Ball Z were more interesting to me than anything Naruto had ever represented. That's just me. Like, I like going around doing the Great Saiyaman adventures. I don't know why, I just do. But when watching Dragon Ball Z, I started to realize that, the games have way better pacing. Even though I didn't really enjoy doing the same story beats over and over again, you start to notice that a lot of the Dragon Ball show, there's a lot of flaws in it, man. Like, maybe the Buu saga could have been shorter. The Cell saga was, to me, the best, but it had its hiccups too. The Frieza versus Goku was the longest fight in my entire imagination of any anime I've ever seen. And there were a lot of like pacing issues where they would just kind of slow down the pace to a crawl instead of doing like a... Oh, I'm not made this video like 30 minutes long. We're gonna speed up now. So I watched it when I was younger. I rent and rewatched the whole thing when I was older. And then Super came around. And Super was exciting. because it was like, yeah, all these different shows that are coming back now today that are like reboots, and they doing all this stuff, continuations of old shows. Anime is different. Anime is something that you expect to get a continuation. Like, you don't ever look into anime as like, dang, I'm really surprised I got a continuation. No, generally more anime, there's always more anime to be shown, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Now when Super came out, it was during the time I was really heavy into manga, and you know, I really want to stop getting through different anime and then having them stop for 4 years before they come out with a new season. I really was just on everything. Super came out and it took internet by storm. Like a lot of the reactor channels, like the anime reactor channels, they blew up off of Dragon Ball Super. There was a lot of different moments that were so big in that anime that it actually gave a lot of people a career. A lot of people make videos on it. You know, it was just such, Dragon Ball Z is such that thing where it makes the anime community big. It makes it keep growing. If you're walking by random TV and your friend or roommate or something like that is watching anime, you may just look at it. If you look at some anime, it's like, okay, this just characters talking. But Dragon Ball Z is all about action. It's all about fighting. So they're gonna find it interesting, and they're gonna try to go from there and learn what they can learn. Personally, a lot of people hate Dragon Ball Z Super. When they came out with the Battle of Gods movie, it was absolutely crazy. I remember how old that movie actually was though, because there was a Vita game with Battle of Gods, and that's crazy to even think about. Then from Battle of Gods and then the Resurrection of F to them getting Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, yeah, that name. From them doing the Universe 6 vs 7 tournament, which was amazing. Got to see Hit, one of my favorite characters from Super, to them going to the Universal tournament, you know, Goku Black and all those things in between. The Universe tournament was so insane because people were speculating in the opening that Goku would get a new form, and then it was confirmed that Goku would get a new form. And instead of coming out with another Super Saiyan form, he came out with one of the coldest forms ever known to man, which is Ultra Instinct, and it shut the whole internet down. I mean, literally shut down Crunchyroll. Like when the episode aired, like people were trying to watch it so bad it just shut down the whole site. But yeah, anime as a whole has gotten big, and it owes a lot to Dragon Ball Z. Honestly, it owes a lot to stuff like Sailor Moon and stuff, but I'm not really talking about those. They'll get their own video someday. So I have to ask you guys this one pivotal question. I like to ask people questions in my videos. What does Dragon Ball Z mean to you? And as far as like anime watching goes, when you first watched anime or you got into anime, even though to me I can't fully credit Dragon Ball Z as being the sole reason why I watch anime, because I did end up reading manga in the library, and that was really cool. But when you got into anime, was it through something like Dragon Ball Z? What was your gateway? And if you did start watching anime in other means, did you watch it? Did you even know about Dragon Ball Z as a whole? With that being said, guys, thanks for watching. Plus, subscribe. I'll see you guys next video.